Hello friends! So 2018 was the year of the book slump for me, and I really wanted to get back into reading more. So when Jessica from Peace Love Books announced that she was part of this collaboration doing Romanceopoly, I knew that I wanted to participate. So this is my Romanceopoly board. I just printed it from their website, which I'll go ahead and leave link down below in case you haven't heard of it or haven't seen it. There's a few different ways to play, but the way I'm going to do it is I'm just going to try to complete the whole board, and maybe some of them I'll do more than once. But how I'm going to keep track of it is with these little star stickers that I bought at Walmart. I think they're in like the teaching stationery section. I'm going to do it as red star is a 5-star, blue is 4, silver is 3, green is 2, and yellow is 1 or DNF if I don't finish a book that I'm not enjoying. If I do a green or a yellow star, I'm definitely going to try to do that square again to get it up to at least a 3-star. Just to kind of broaden my horizons and see, like, maybe I'm not picking up the right books in the certain categories or anything like that. One of the other things I printed off from their website is their idea cards, and I went through and put some of the books that I already own in my TBR onto here in the categories that they fit in. So I'm going to go through those now. The first square that I have a book for is Downtown, Head to a Concert, Read a Rockstar Romance. For that I have Rhythm Chord and Malakin by Mariana Zapata. Mariana Zapata writes amazing slow burn romances, and this one doesn't seem as bad because it's not as long as some of her other books. But this is about a girl who, I think she's 25, 26 years old, mid-20s, and she doesn't really have her place yet. She doesn't know what she wants to do with her life. And her brother is in a band and invites her to come on their summer tour, and she ends up falling for the lead singer. The next square is Growing Pains Place, Young Adult, rated young adult novel, young adult book, fantasy or contemporary. For that I have 29 Dates by Melissa De La Cruz. I won this in a Goodreads giveaway. It's about a South Korean girl who her family has started the process of matchmaking to find her a husband, and she is completely uninterested. She wants to be a photographer. Something happens and she ends up getting sent to a boarding school in America. And she thinks she's finally free, and but she ends up I think she ends up meeting 2 boys. Yes. Soon attention from 2 very different boys sends Jisoo into a tailspin of soul searching. As her passion for photography lights her on fire, does she even want to find the one? And what if her one isn't parent or matchmaker approved? I've read something by Melissa De La Cruz before. I can't remember what it was, and I really enjoyed it, so I'm looking forward to this because it sounds amazing. One of the next squares is Memory Lane, Historical Fiction. Read a historical fiction novel. For that, I am so excited to finally get to Next Year in Havana by Chanel Cleeton. I heard about this when it was the Reese Witherspoon Book of the Month pick, and I asked for it for Christmas and ended up getting it, so I'm looking forward to actually taking this on vacation in a couple of weeks. We're going on a cruise, and I'm looking forward to spending some time in Cuba. Not on the cruise, but on the cruise. It's about a Cuban-American woman who, after the death of her grandmother, ends up going back to Cuba and discovering all of the secrets and reasons behind her grandmother fleeing the country back when she was younger, and meeting a guy who I haven't seen this anywhere, but I have a feeling his family is going to have something to do with the reason the grandmother left in the past. A few squares later is called Dungeon Corner. Read a book with a hero in prison or an ex-con, or read a book from one of Under the Covers or Peace Love Books' fave book boyfriends lists. For that I went with ex-con. I have Crash by Nicole Williams. This has been on my TBR shelf for probably about 1.5 years, maybe even 2 years. It sounded good on Book Outlet, and then I just never picked it up. It's about a girl who, she wants to be a ballerina, and she ends up at a new school for her senior year. And she ends up meeting this boy who, in the synopsis, it says he has a rap sheet, so that's where the ex-con part comes in. It sounds like he tries to warn her away that he's not good for her and that he's a bad influence, but she just doesn't want to listen. The next square is College Row, New Adult. Read a new adult set in college. For that I have In Ruins by Danielle Pearl. Again, this is one I've had not quite as long as the last one. I think I've had this one about 6 or 7 months or so. This is about a girl who thinks college is going to be her fresh new start, and she's excited that nobody knows who she is and what has happened in her past. But one of the guys that she ends up meeting knows all about her past. They had been friends before, and it kind of sounds like he thinks whatever happened may have been his fault or something, because it says they both have to work through the past in order to move forward to the future. The next square is called Bus. Read a book where the characters have to go on a journey which involves travel. This includes fantasy. I'm going with contemporary. I have Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. I've seen a lot about this book, and again, it was on Book Outlet, so I picked it up. It's about a girl who goes to Italy, I think for the summer or something, to spend time with the father that she doesn't know a lot about. Her mother is sick and gives her a journal from the time when she spent in Italy. I'm assuming that's when she met the father. And the girl meets a boy, and they go on all these adventures trying to find all the places in the mom's journal. And I think she starts to kind of see a correlation between her mom's life and her life. Skipping a few squares because I don't have books for those. The next one I have is Sweet Street, Contemporary Romance. Read a sweet or small town contemporary romance. For that I have two. I have, it's this part of the same series by Jennifer Probst. I have Everywhere and Every Way and Anytime, Any Place. And as far as I can tell, I don't want to read too much into the synopsis for either one of them. It's a brothers who own a family business and end up meeting either women who live in the town or women who come to vacation in the town and fall in love. As much as I can tell from the synopsis of the first one. Again, skipping a couple of squares. The next one, Bad Boy Circus, Contemporary Romance. Read a contemporary romance with a bad boy hero or bad gal heroine. I'm going with Inked Armor by Helena Hunting. Again, this one I've had for a while. It's about a girl who is, I think she's with a tattoo artist, and then she ends up leaving suddenly because something happens, and they have to work through whatever it is, or she has to work through whatever it is that happened to be able to go back to the tattoo artist. But when she comes back, the tattoo artist isn't sure if he wants to be with her anymore because he doesn't know if he can trust her after whatever it was that happened that made her leave, and trust issues. Sounds angsty. Bad boy tattoo hero. Yes. The next square is Fire Station Corner. Read a book with a firefighter hero heroine, or read an on-fire hot erotic romance. I'm going with Firefighter Hero. This is Slow Burn by Anne Marsh. It's about a firefighter. They go up into helicopters to like fight the fire from above or on a mountain or something. His team ends up being assigned this photographer who is shooting pictures for a magazine or doing a story on them for a magazine or something. And I'm assuming it's going to be kind of a, oh, she's a city girl, he's a country boy, they don't mesh well, they have different ideas. I'm assuming it's going to be kind of like that. But it's short, and it sounded really good, so I picked it up. Skipping a couple, we land in paranormal romance. It is Creature Crescent. Read a paranormal romance where the hero or heroine isn't human. Shifters, vamps, angels, etc. I'm going with Muse. This is inspired by Cora Carmack. It's the first in a series, but it's the only one that's out so far. I got this in July at Book Bonanza, and I've been putting it off because it's the last Cora Carmack book that I have that's already out. Once I read this one, I'm caught up and I have to wait for the new stuff. And so I don't know when I'm going to get to it. Probably not anytime soon because it's holding me, like it's holding me over until the new stuff comes out. But this is about a girl. She is a muse. She has a mutually beneficial relationship with artists where she inspires them, they keep her alive. But she ends up meeting this guy who is not an artist that she wants to spend her life with, or I'm guessing spend her time with at least. And she doesn't know how to go about staying alive, really, is the way the synopsis kind of makes it sound, while still being with him. The last box that I have a book for is called Faraway Land Fantasy. Read a fantasy romance or a fantasy novel. I don't have the actual book, but I have the dust jacket, and it is Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I started this one already, and it's a new series, I think it's a duology, set in the world of the Remnant Chronicles, which was The Kiss of Deception, which I loved this trilogy. But this is completely new characters. The girl works for, or is in the, like, army of the queen or something like that. And she ends up going to this town because she's been hearing that there's shady things happening in this town. And in the town, they're kind of run by this family because they're so far out from the rest of the kingdom. And the main guy, his father has just passed away, so he has become the new leader of this family that runs the town. And that's about as far as I've gotten without spoiling too much. And it's really good so far, and I'm loving it. So that is what I have for Romanceopoly. If you have any tips, tricks, recommendations, how you're going to do the game, how you're going to play, what you're going to read, go ahead and leave it for me down below. I'd really be interested to see what other people are doing. Maybe get some ideas for the boxes that I don't have, because there are a lot of them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.